families and friends. I'm Erin Palmer, school occupational therapist, also known by some students as the handwriting teacher. I'm really excited to join you today. I hope everything at home is going well and that friends, you're enjoying spending some time with your families. I would love to hear from you and to connect with you. Please feel free to contact me anytime via email, or if you want to speak by phone or even video conference. My emails always have a link to my contact information as well as office hours, but I'd also be happy to connect with you outside of those times. Today, I am really excited to talk about one of my favorite rules for handwriting. A few weeks ago, we talked about the first rule that we typically use, and that rule was letters touch the line. So we remember that we don't want any floating letters. No, we don't want our letters going into outer space. We want them, boom, on the line. And I know you've done a great job of trying to catch those floaters and put them back on the line. Today, we're going to talk about our second rule for handwriting, and that is leave a space between words. That's right, leave a space between words. And we often use our finger to help us make those spaces and to check our work to make sure that those spaces are in there and that they're big enough. So today we'll go over a few different ways that we can practice this, and then I've also shared a couple activities that you might want to try at home just to carry over this idea. So thank you so much for joining me, and let's get started. So we know that our second rule is to leave a space with our finger between words. So let's look at a few of the phrases we have here and see if I left a space or if my words are smushed. Smushed. First we have the cat. Did Miss Erin leave a space? Oh no, I don't see a space. I see two words that are smushed. Let's look at the next one. Red bug. Red space. Did I leave a space? No, silly Miss Erin. My words are smushed. Now let's look at my name. I have my first name, Erin, and my last name, Palmer. Did I leave a space between Erin and Palmer? No. My words are smushed. Uh-oh, I have a lot of smushed words, but that's okay. I think I can fix them because I know that I can use my finger to help me leave a space. So let's see, what can I do? I bet if I move things over a little bit, I might have space. Okay, so let's find out. The cat. The space. Does my finger fit? Yay, it does. I left a space. And my words are very happy because they can breathe now. So I'm going to give myself a smiley. Right in that space. Let's look at the next one. Red bug. Show me the space. There it is. Does my finger fit? Yay! It does. I left a space. I'm going to give myself a smiley. Okay, last one. Erin Palmer. Show me the space. Right there. Does my finger fit? Yes. Oh, good job. I'm going to give myself a smiley. Words are happy when they have a space, and we use our finger to check. Great job on that one. Our first activity today actually centers on doing some of these things and writing your name or some words and leaving enough space. Great job. As students are doing more writing, whether it's copying or doing original writing, we like to practice the same skill within sentences. And so here I have 2 sentences that I wrote, and I want to check and see if I left enough space between words. My first sentence is, the cat ran. 3 words. The cat ran. Let's see if I left space. Yep, the cat. How about between cat and ran? Uh-oh, Miss Erin did not leave enough space there. Her words are smushed. I'm going to mark where my space should be. I'm going to give myself a sad face. You don't have to do this, but it helps Miss Erin remember that her words need space and that they're happy when they have space. Okay, let's go on to the next sentence. The red bus drove very fast. Okay, we have a lot of words there. The red, uh-oh. Did I leave a space? No. There should be a space between the and red. The red bus drove very, uh-oh. I missed another space between very and fast. So you can see here that I missed some spaces. I did leave some nice spaces, but I missed a few. You know what? That's okay. That's all part of learning, right? But I bet I could fix my mistakes. Try again. What do you think? Should I try? Let's do it. So now I'm going to rewrite my sentences and this time see if I can leave enough space every time. One of the tricks that I often use when copying is to fold the paper so that just the sentence or the words that I need to copy are showing, and that's what I'm doing here. So I'm going to fold my paper so that I can see only the first sentence. You don't have to do this at home, but this sometimes can be a great strategy because otherwise having too much on the page can be, for some of us, a little bit distracting. Okay, so the cat ran. Here we go. The space cat space, and you can see I'm using my helper hand. So for me, that's my right hand because I'm a left-handed writer. I've got my finger pointed on my helper hand, and that is guiding me where to leave a space and how much space to leave. Okay, let's check my work and see. The space, yay, my finger fits. Cat, space, ran. I'm gonna give myself some smileys for such nice spaces. Okay, let's do our second sentence. I'm gonna flip this over so I can see the red bus drove very fast. Okay, let's try it. The, uh-oh, there we go. Space, red, space, bus, oh, wait a minute. Do I have enough room to leave a space and to fit the word drove on the line? You know what? I don't think so. So I'm gonna start a new line. Drove, space, very, space, fast. And you can see that when I have my finger here, I do move it as I'm starting my letter of the next word. I kind of move it out of the way just so that I can keep writing. All right, so let's check our work. Let's see if I left my spaces. The red, oh, there's a nice space my finger fits. I often tell my friends, oh, show me your spaces. So now I'm gonna show you mine. Space, space, space. Start at the beginning of a new line. Space, space. Wow, I left great spaces. My finger can fit in all of them, and my writing is really easy to read. So I'm gonna go ahead and give myself some smileys. So now we're gonna talk a little bit more about leaving a space for students who are in a later phase of handwriting. Students kind of in this phase of writing might be using narrower lined paper like loose leaf or notebook paper. They also tend to make their letters a little bit smaller to fit on this type of paper. And they don't really need to leave those big spaces that we were using in earlier phases of writing. Instead, we have smaller spaces. And students often use their pinky to leave a space instead of their fingertip. Or they might keep using their fingertip but just turn it so that it's sideways and has kind of a smaller outline. Some students use the pinky and turn it as well. So anything that works, and as long as the space is sufficient for the writing to be readable so that we know that there is a good separation of words, that's fine. And I also do recommend that students kind of use a consistent method. So if they're always using their turned index finger, great. If they're always using their pinky or a turned pinky, great. But just kind of picking one way and then sticking with it. And that way too, their spaces are more consistent. And kind of another thing I want to note with some of our later writers would be that when we're checking our work, instead of putting a smiley face with each space, that we would check larger segments or chunks of work. So that might be a whole sentence, it might be 2 or 3 sentences together. And we typically use a handwriting rule sheet and checklist. And so I can show you what that sometimes looks like. So here, it's a sample handwriting rule sheet. It might look a little bit familiar. I shared this a few weeks ago when we talked about letters touch the line, but with just the first rule. So now we've added the second rule. We have both letters touch the line and leave a space between words. And so students can reference the rule, but also I really like to use these picture symbols because oftentimes they can remind students just like that what they need to be doing with their handwriting without having to read through those rules. So our first one is letters touch the line, and then our second one is leave a space. A lot of my students choose these picture symbols for those 2 rules, but I do have students who have selected their own or slightly different ones. For example, this is a common one here, to use a picture of a finger instead, because this is a really good reminder that, we leave a space, we use our finger to leave a space, they kind of go together. So I usually give students some different options, and then they get to choose what their picture symbol or secret symbol of, our handwriting rules might be. And then when we're checking, so this is a nice reference when students are writing, just to remember what their writing should be doing. But at the same time, we can also focus on checking work. And so this, a lot of times we'll laminate this page and students can use a dry erase marker to check different segments of work. So here, they would be checking first for, do my letters touch the line? And then for, leaving a space. So I'm just going to show you how I would go about checking my work right here. So let's read this. The cat ran into the kitchen. She was ready to eat dinner. Okay, I'm going to show you my spaces. Space. Note that I'm starting at the beginning. Uh-oh, I didn't leave a space between cat and ran. So I'm going to mark that. I'm just marking it very lightly because I think I can go back later. Space, space, space. I'm going to the next line. Kitchen, space, space. Next line, space. Eat dinner. Uh-oh, eat dinner? I didn't leave a space there. Okay, I marked those. Now, I marked them primarily for the video, but sometimes we do that also with our assignment. In real time, when we're checking, sometimes we'll stop and see if we can fix that right then and there, if we have enough room. And I think I do. So I'm going to try to fix that. The cat, space, ran. Okay, let's see. The cat ran into, I did it. Okay, I still have enough space there. Okay, Now I'm going to go back here and see, to eat dinner. All right, I think I need to erase. So sometimes if I have enough room where I can spread out my words and I can fix them as is, then I do it. If I don't, then, you know, as part of this process, sometimes we'll rewrite it, but we just want to sort of minimize a lot of erasures, a lot of rewrites, because that can be really hard and it can be kind of tedious too. So, to eat dinner. Okay, and you see I'm using my pinky on its side as a little marker. Okay, and then sometimes I'll just check the whole thing again really quickly. Yep, space, space. Moving along. Good. Great, I did it. So, if I were going to be checking my work, this was my rule, right? Leave a space between words. We can kind of, we're not going to check about the first one. We'll just focus on the second one here today, but I'm going to give myself a smiley. Or some students prefer to give themselves a star or even a check mark. But that's kind of how we're approaching it with our later writers, which, of course, if they are accustomed to using a checklist that has, you know, multiple rules that they're checking for, then they would start at the first one and move to the second. Yes. And then I just wanted to mention that the second activity that I shared this week focuses on finding the mistakes with spacing in my sample sentences. So can students spot those errors? And then if possible, could they try writing those same sentences, but this time seeing if they can, you know, do it without making the mistakes that I made. And so that's the second activity. I just wanted to say too, as this will kind of wrap up our video, thank you so much for joining me. If you have any questions, if I can provide any support with respect, of course, to today's topic, but also just with, you know, anything related to self-help skills, following a schedule, self-regulation at home, fine motor skills, handwriting, or accessing some technology like speech to text and text to speech, I would be more than happy to do so. So please feel free to reach out, or even if you just want to let me know how things are going at home, I would love to hear from you. Thanks so much. Take care. Bye-bye.